And it's Andrea
Befus.
Befus. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So we've got this on.
And it's and Andrea
Befus.
Befus. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll turn that one down. We're going to have some feedback on the next couple jumps. I'm checking it on both of our sharing sites here real quick. Boom.
Andrea
Okay. All right. So we're up. Okay. So might be a little bit of a goofy sound sometimes, but welcome to the show, Andrea.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. How do you say your first name again?
Andrea Befus.
So Andrea, not Andrea, or okay, Andrea Befus. All right. So we're on with Andrea Befus today, and she's been doing some very particular work that's, I would say, time sensitive right now. And so you've been working to kind of rescue people from Afghanistan, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, all right. So go ahead and tell us how'd you get into it? How did this become a task you took on?
Yeah, I definitely never thought I would be in this situation, but I'm really grateful that I am and I'm able to help. So, when everything kind of crashed and burned in Kabul a few weeks ago, I was sitting at my desk job. I work in IT, and I started seeing all the headlines come in, and my heart just broke. I used to live in Istanbul when I was in middle school, and so that part of the country had a really special place in my heart. So just watching, or that part of the world. And so as I was watching these headlines come in, I just felt helpless. And the people around me in my life and online, you could just tell we didn't know what to do when we knew what was happening was wrong. And that whole week, I just kept feeling more and more overwhelmed and just, I don't know how else to describe it except as helpless. And so eventually I finally actually had to turn off the headlines because I was so stressed and overwhelmed, which normally doesn't happen for me with world events. I'm pretty level headed, kind of go with the flow. I like to listen to both sides of the story, and I'm not really affected by world events that much. But this one, for some reason, was really having a huge effect on me. And I think now looking back, I think there was a reason why. Because when I shut off the headlines on Friday just so I could take a break for over the weekend, that's when my uncle called me on that Monday. He used to serve in Afghanistan. He's a retired National Guard from Utah. And he said, "Hey, Andrea, I know you know some about tech things. Would you be interested in helping me get this particular family of 6 out of Afghanistan?" And I immediately said yes. And so that's how that I started getting involved. And then it kind of snowballed into me having a bigger part than I initially thought I would.
Mm. Okay, well, let me uh let me bounce back a little bit real quick. What took you to Istanbul initially?
Yeah, I've moved around a lot in my life, and my parents are honestly just really adventurous. So we were there for 2.5 years when I was in middle school.
We lost your sound again, man. That's just
It's your amplifier, Jared. So I think the audience can still hear you. It's just us.
okay. All right. So sorry about that. So your parents were just adventurous and they moved you to Istanbul?
Yeah, so we're just a family of 4 with my sister and I. It was kind of easy to move around. My dad works in telecom and goes to a lot of conferences. And so they liked that lifestyle, and so they passed it down to us.
Really? And so
Yeah.
how was it living in Istanbul in junior high? What was the, I don't know, the life lessons you learned at that time?
Yeah, kind of the lighthearted surface level. I joked that it was great that I was off the continent for my awkward years because middle school is rough for everyone. But on a on a deeper level, I developed a huge appreciation and a really big passion for learning about other cultures and people. I loved visiting the mosques, trying the food, talking to people in their homes and just getting to know people from that part of the world, because they are so kind and so hospitable. It's like I just couldn't get enough of learning about the world. And I think as I lived there and we were able to travel, because Istanbul is really close to a lot of countries, I just realized there's never just one perspective on something. And hearing people's stories is a really powerful experience that can change your life.
Very good. So, all right. So now let's fast forward to now. Your uncle called you. He's a veteran of the Afghanistan conflict, and said, "Hey, I need help getting a family out." And so you kind of started on as an assistance position, but now you've kind of become maybe the forerunner position of the project.
A little bit. I was going to start off helping just with social media, sharing the story, helping with some tech things to set up a donation page, that type of thing. Because I know that because I work in IT and I do some marketing on the side. And so I knew how that worked. And then eventually I realized I had some connections with people that would come in handy. And now I'm kind of, I don't know, the right-hand man, you could say, to my uncle, kind of helping with the operation.
Okay.
Andrea, can you tell us a bit about the family over in Afghanistan?
Yeah. I love this family. I met them a few weeks ago when we started. So it's a quite sad story, actually. The reason that this even started is because when my uncle was in Afghanistan, he was a chaplain and he helped train an Afghan man. We can call him Tarun. We're not using real names, places, or dates just because the operation is still going. So this man, Tarun, was an extremely kind, gentle, tolerant man who was taught up. He was taught within the teachings of the Taliban, that kind of extremist, I don't even want to say Islamic because that's not what it is, but these really extreme views. But he decided to reject those and help Americans fight terrorism. Very different than how he was taught in his religious schooling. And so that, go ahead.
Was he an orphan from the Afghani Civil War, or?
That's a great question. I'm not sure.
That's, from what I understand, I have no direct knowledge, but from what I understand, that's where most of the Taliban comes from these, I don't know, these orphanages from the Civil War. We're hitting that age group, and that's why I was wondering if he was, tied into that. Of course, I
don't believe so, that he was recruited by the Taliban. He was brought up in a school that was sympathetic to the Taliban teachings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now,
so kind of.
Oh, sorry. Go. Keep going.
Yeah. So my uncle and this man Tarun met, and they formed an immediate friendship. This man was the closest Afghan man that my uncle, while he was serving there, that was his closest connection. And he was a really kind man. He would help the kids in the streets. We have pictures of him helping a boy find his lost ball. And it's this really cute picture where he has his arm around this little boy pointing to where the ball is. He also helped other local community leaders turn into U.S. intelligence sources, which was a really big help for the U.S. So you can imagine that this man, Tarun, over time became a really public figure just because he was a great guy. He was helping the U.S. and he was helping build girls' schools. He was helping preach religious tolerance. He was a really big deal in the community. So when the Taliban started taking over things again, I'm assuming because this happened quite quickly, that this man Tarun was on the Taliban's hit list pretty high on it because he was so pro-America, anti-terrorism, and helped the U.S. a lot. So this is the sad part. So if there's any kids listening, you maybe want to turn this off. The Taliban sent letters in the night to Tarun's home and said, hey, we're going to come kill you and your children, and named them by name in these letters. And this happened multiple times. And so then Tarun, he said, okay, obviously we are in danger. So he sent his family away to a different city to be safe. Then one day the Taliban, they came into his home and assassinated him. It was not a war killing, it was a very targeted attack. When the family heard that their father had been killed and left a widow and 3 kids, the grandparents said, hey, don't come back because the Taliban said they're coming for you next. So at that point, that's when they went into hiding and on the run. Then Kabul happened. And so then one of the sons reached out to my uncle and said, hey, we're having a hard time getting into the airport. It's chaos here and it's really dangerous. Is there anything you can do to help us get out? Because our father has already been killed. And that's the exact point when my uncle got called and he started telling them, hey, try this to get into the airport, try this. He had them hold a sign that said, hey, we qualify for asylum. We have all of our documents. Call this number, my uncle's number. If you have any questions, we can be let into the airport. And they were holding the sign outside the gates at the airport and they couldn't get in because it was so chaotic. So now they're in a different city. They had to flee because neighbors said the Taliban were knocking on the doors 1 street over from their home. And so they had to leave to a different city. And now they're in hiding and on the run.
So what is, man, that's a tough story. So the Taliban did a retaliation assassination.
Yes.
They want to go further and they want to assassinate essentially all the family.
Yeah.
What are the barriers right now to getting this family out?
There's a lot of barriers. I don't know how political we want to get, but
Go political issue.
We're having a really hard time going the typical route the government says, qualifying for the SIVs, the special immigration visas. If you don't have a passport, that's really hard. Their passports were destroyed, but they have all these other documents that say who they are. My uncle's signature is on one of them. They kept all of their documents, but it's hard because the documents that they have are the same documents that if the Taliban found, are likely they would be killed. And so we're not going the typical route the government says because we're pressed for time. They're in a pretty dangerous situation from what they've told us. And so we can't wait 6 to 9 months for the visa to come, maybe.
So you're going an untraditional route to help take them out of Afghanistan. Can you tell us a little bit about these untraditional routes and people that help the logistics happen in these untraditional routes?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I can't give the details, the super specific details of the operation because for obvious reasons, if for whatever reason the wrong person heard this, that would be a problem. And so I'm kind of saying if you're imagining a Mission Impossible type of situation, that movie plotline is what it feels like. Planes, trains, automobiles, boats, all of the above are involved in either the main plan A or plan B, C, D, E, F. We have our main plan and then contingency plans that get the farther, the more things that go wrong, the crazier our plan gets. But we're totally ready. We have plans. Our team consists of former special operations soldiers. We've had NGOs be involved, public servants, attorneys, other like business owners that they feel like they want to help. We have a big team, and when we presented our plan to these veterans and special operations people that had done something similar, they looked at it and said, well, it's the best plan that we've seen so far. So we feel really good about our plan and the ball is rolling.
So that's one. I'm kind of shocked that if a visa or a passport gets lost, that it's not that. Maybe it's just because of where they're at, but it can't be replaced within 7 to 10 business days.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
I'll be first to tell you that I think that governments are a complete failure. I've been pretty open about my thoughts on that. I think government set up systems and they're, pardon me French, complete dog shit at every turn. And that's rough. I don't know. And the area, is there any sympathetic areas to the family's plight over there? Maybe some of the deeper workings of Pakistan, but right there on the border, probably not very sympathetic. Really can't make your way into Iran as far as them being friendly with the U.S. If they were not friendly with the U.S. and maybe not even Sunni, they might have a chance in Iran, but not much of a chance there. It's man, it's a rock and a hard place. So,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess that the government isn't very helpful with your situation, but are there 501c3 organizations that are kicking in, or is there? You said you have a GoFundMe page or something like that. What kind of funding are you asking the community for, and what kind of response are you getting from the community?
Yeah, we've had an amazing response. We launched it last Friday. What was that? The 10th, September 10th, and we have $19,000 already, and it's what is it, Thursday today? So in less than a week, which is amazing. That's just all from organic sharing, people talking about it. We've been on 3 news stations, another podcast. So we're just trying to spread the word. We've had a few people involved. I don't know if you know Operation Underground Railroad, the Nazarene Fund. They're doing amazing work, and they have helped us, give us intel, which has been really helpful.
good. Yeah, it seems like it seems like the administration right now lined up an impossible situation in front of themselves, and it it's such a screwballed situation. It makes you wonder if it wasn't intentional. Because I mean, honestly, I don't know how you could screw it up this bad without it being on purpose. Because it really is. The way they evacuated, they pulled out the defense forces just immediately overnight. Didn't even let the allies know about it. All of our allies, including our continental European allies, our British allies, are all they feel betrayed, and then not to mention our allies that helped us over there. So we didn't even leave them a choice to stay in their own country and try to make it work. The way we just evacuated left them, holding a bag that they weren't ready to hold yet. And I'm not for us staying in Afghanistan forever, but I'm definitely not for us abandoning the situation we made.
It feels like there's
Yeah.
a lot of feeling of. It feels as though we were intentionally sabotaged as people of America by our own
Yeah.
government. To be honest with
Well,
you,
and the people of Afghanistan, our allies in Great Britain feel pretty betrayed. I mean, it's a horrible situation. And feel free to speak freely if you want to talk negatively about the government. We'll just sit here and grin.
Yeah, I don't usually get involved with political conversations, but recently I have definitely crossed over. To be fully transparent, I'm more libertarian. I'm more kind of let people decide what they want to do. Yes, I have personal conservative leaning beliefs, but I believe that the government should not be involved with a lot. And it's been really frustrating, to say the least, to watch what has happened. I don't know if you know about the first Afghan refugee that arrived to Utah. He kind of talks about that, how fast it all happened. He was working in the air traffic control tower at the Kabul airport, and he said overnight, everyone was just gone. They had no idea, even at the airport, what was happening. And so they were working 18-hour shifts at the airport to help get these planes out, and then eventually they just had to leave because the Taliban were driving into the airport with their trucks, and it was unsafe.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation, and I mean, it's kind of a tale as old as time. How let's go back to 2001. How we expected to go to a geographical area that had thrown off Alexander the Great, thrown off Great Britain. This because this place isn't. It's never really been a country. It's always been tribal areas that could communicate with each other. It's never been a whole area. And I think if we're going to commit to that, if you were going to commit to that, you would need to have the thought that this is going to be a very long term project. I wish we'd have thought about that then, and maybe they did think then we wanted to be in there forever. Lots of people made lots of money off it, but there is a lot of blood and tragedy in what we've done over there, and I'm telling you, I think the current administration needs to answer a lot for how it left. It didn't let any of our allies know. Made promises and then just up and left a lot of blood and treasure on the ground. And
Yeah. What's really frustrating to me is the media. They were really involved at the beginning, and now where are they? They're not talking about what's happening right now. You actually have to dig pretty hard to figure out what's going on since we left. It's like all of a sudden they just want to talk about COVID again, and yeah.
well, you don't want their puppet, I guess I would say, to have egg on his face, right?
It's their
Right.
project.
You know, I mean, he's their what would you call it? Dementia excuse? What could we call it? It's crazy. It's, you know, and we are both libertarian. I'm extreme libertarian. He's more probably along your angle of stuff. And man, right now it is a farce. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So we obviously don't want to ask questions that'll belay or give out your guys' plans. Have you got a timetable laid out?
We do. Obviously, as soon as possible. I can't tell you when things are happening, but obviously the main steps are crossing a border, transportation to a destination that can get them out, potentially having a middle ground location, having an escort come to meet them, and then ultimately trying to get to the US because they qualify for asylum.
Good.
Now the money being raised, will it specifically go towards this family or an overall just general operation of evacuating refugees, or will it go towards resettling them when they get here? How do you project the spending of this money that people will donate?
That's a great question. All the money that we're receiving is going straight to this family. Whether it just depends on how much we end up donating. If there are leftovers, it'll go towards resettlement. But we're very conscious of being frugal and fiscally responsible. And so if they have enough for resettlement, then we'll donate to an organization that's doing something similar to us.
Let's go ahead and real quick while we've got a couple of people asking how can they help. So it's
that's so nice.
It's rescue.express/family.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to throw that up on the screen right now, and also so go ahead and talk about it. Where can people go? How can people?
Yeah. So right now, if you can, share this out. Sharing their story is extremely helpful, but also any donations that we receive, we're using them very well. I can't tell you what they're being used for, but yeah, rescue.express/family. Yeah, I wish I could tell you what they're being used for. It's very cool. but it's a way that they can be safe, have legal papers to get them out of the location of where they are right now. That's what the most recent donations have been used for. The next step is getting them on the transportation that will get them out of their second location. Sorry, I'm being really vague,
Well,
and I apologize.
right now they're escaping from where they are to, let's say, France. And then from France, you're putting them on a pirate ship,
Why France? Why not Liberland? I mean, let's go good with this.
you know, wherever, but you're putting them on because you can't get a pirate ship to Liberland. It's imaginary. But then you're putting them on a pirate ship, and they've got Captain Jack Sparrow leading them over, and the guy with the.
Yep.
So, yeah, we understand that. And hopefully there is, hopefully there's enough funds left over in the end of this to help them get established and
Yeah.
get set up over here.
Now, what's the probability of success on this mission, Andrea, from your point of view?
We're projecting like an 80% success rate. Once phase 1 is over, then we're pretty much good. We're about halfway through phase 1. I will breathe a huge sigh of relief once this phase 1 is done. And then after that, I think we're pretty much good to go. It's just the timetable of how fast we can get things to happen.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a source where people can volunteer for actual hands-on service, or is it all financial that you're asking for?
That's a great question. So right now it's just financial, but we do have an email, helptaroonsfamily@gmail.com. If you have any helpful contacts, people you know in government, people maybe you know a special operations officer, soldier that has knowledge on this type of thing. If you know any contacts, send an email for sure.
How do you spell? I'm going to put that. I'm going to add that in real quick.
Or just
Help Taroons. Yeah, TAROONS. Help Taroons Family @gmail.com.
no space.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no spaces.
Okay. Help. TAROON. Oh man.
Yes.
So if you guys have access to a satellite or something like that, and you want to donate, shoot that email a little
If
more.
you want to donate a charter plane, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be very fantastic.
That would be a cool gift. Now, I want to ask one more question, and it just escaped me. I'm having a senior moment here. Hold on for a second. It's coming back.
Well, anyway, so all right, right now they're in a safe location, correct?
No, that's why we need funds immediately.
Okay, so they're not in a safe location right now. So you've got to buy them first to the safe secondary and then in evacuation. And are you going to bring them here to Utah? Is that the plan?
That's the plan. They said they want to come to Utah. We're going to help support them, whatever they want to do. We know that there are some Afghan communities around the U.S. if they want to be in a place where people understand their culture and they can be involved in that way. I believe there is an Afghan community here in Salt Lake. So they've said that they want to come here, and so we're going to help support them with what they want to do.
Good.
Now, once you do have mission completion here, can I get you back on the show to talk about all the details if we can?
Oh yeah, for sure. And it'll be updated on the donation page. Any updates that we have will be posted on that page.
All right.
Good. Well, I think what you're doing is awesome. It's very noble. Noble to help out a family who's it's terrible what happened to their father. That is I don't know. I think, you know, again, I shouldn't say we, but we left people that bought into our vision that we promised them. We left them in an impossible situation. And
Yep.
I think this is going to be a long-term stain on our nation's credibility, on our nation's honor, and if I can say that, I don't know, Biden. There's more reports coming out that the Joint Chiefs that it was actually Biden's deal to leave as they did, and
Wow.
that's why you don't.
Is-
That's why you don't prop a senile old man into a position of power like that. I mean, honestly, he should be in a hospital gown and slippers, maybe playing shuffle ball before the sun goes down if he feels up to it. If the oatmeal is moving okay, whatever. He
Lots of
shouldn't.
applesauce.
Yeah, he shouldn't be doing that. But do you mind if we go through some of the comments that's come in real quick?
Yeah, I can't see any of them. I'd love to hear.
All right. I don't have any of the names here, so they're just gonna. I can go directly to the source and get the names. So Betsy says even sympathetic areas are likely afraid, and that's a sad truth.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she also says, and this is only one family. Imagine the actual scope of this.
It's huge.
Yeah. It's rough. Meredith, how you doing? She says, right. And do we truly know the scope? Blood is on Biden's hands. Yeah, she kind of has the same comment.
It's a fair state.
How many families are destroyed over our inept action? You know, that's horrible.
Yeah. Not only destroyed and lives lost, but entire futures of children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and the possibility for this nation to advance into a more free and prosperous nation. You know, it's
Yeah. And I'm not about I don't know how to say this well, like preaching fear or anything like that, but with the situation right now, I would not be surprised if there is another terrorist attack. I think we should have stayed at least bare minimum resources just to keep the existing government there and feel comfortable of being there. I think it's not good for them or for us.
We could tabletop that a million different ways that could probably
well,
lead to better options than what actually did occur.
the U.S. strong suit in war, and it has been since the dawn of time, is our logistics. No one can compete with us logistically. That was our strength from World War I, World War II. All of that was logistics. And I don't see a reason why we couldn't have maintained logistical support for a modern Afghani military and everything else. And we could have even sold them our logistical support and made it a net zero cost. But the way we just pulled out was atrocious. And I'm against us going to war, but I think if we do commit to that, I think we've got to at least manage how we operate after we've committed to it.
Andrea, let me ask you this. So I'm a huge believer in military contractors. After your experience with this operation, or, well, let's face it, it's still going. It's an ongoing operation. Do you have a different respect for military contractors and privateers than maybe you had in the past?
So I can't speak much to military private contractors. I don't have a ton of information and we haven't interacted with them much. But for people or organizations like the Nazarene Fund, I have massive respect. And Operation Underground Railroad, when they saw that people were stuck, it's like they didn't even have to think about it. They just went straight there and they just figured it out as they went. And them talking about them hitting the bureaucratic roadblocks, they're the ones that are innovative enough to figure out how to not actually stop them.
Good. And again, another comment: how can average people step in to help? That's rescue.express/family. That's where you go to make a donation and things like that, correct? And then
Yes.
there's an email, helptorunesfamily@gmail.com. If you have a private aircraft, a pirate ship, a rocket ship, whatever.
Or probably room and board when they get here. You're going to be looking for a place for them. It's not easy to find that here in Utah.
Yeah. I've started connecting with some resettlement agencies, and resources are few, but they are there. So it's fun to actually look into the research for once they get here and not be so fixated on the terrifying situation that they're in right now.
Yeah, I'll bet that's kind of a happy part where you get a plan for a positive future and not try to defend against the current tragedy.
Yeah, because the family has so much hope. One of them lost their jobs because he taught technology and computers in a girls' school. He said he lost his job and he can't go back to work. And so it's so sad where they are, but they have a lot of hope. No matter where they end up, they have so much hope for the future, which is really inspiring.
Yeah, and if he, coming over here where we have a much more liberal view on education, and also if there's refugees coming over, there's a space for him with his skill to set them up for a positive future. And that's what I think we need to concentrate on with all the refugees that are coming over there. Utah's, didn't you send me an email? They're taking like 220,000.
Well, we're going to get about 765 starting in October. They're going to start filtering in.
So we do need to make sure that these refugees that come over don't fall through the cracks. We need to make sure that they get all of the offerings that are available to them, so that they become productive, I guess, Americans or Utahns or whatever. We need to get that. So hopefully we get him over here and he can jump in and with his particular skill set. Here's another question. Do any of the family members know English?
As of now, no. The one who, actually, I probably can't say that. They're very resourceful in how they can communicate. So none of them are fluent, but they do know multiple languages.
Okay. And I do know there's what's that Catholic resettlement group we chatted with about a year ago. I do know that they offer classes in aid and assistance, and so hopefully they can get involved. Hopefully we can get them over here, get them set up, get them industrious and independent, and offer them a future.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It needs to happen, and then everyone can just tell Biden to piss off and go put on his slippers and kick around the yard because he's a screw up. Yeah. Andrea, do you have anything else you want to say before we let you go?
I don't think so. I really appreciate the opportunity to tell their story. They're an amazing family, so thank you.
Well, if there's any updates, just reach out. We'll have you back on in a moment's notice.
I will, of course.
One last time, plug the website and the email address.
Yes, so if you have the resources available to you, please send a donation at rescue.express/family, or if you have any contacts that could potentially be helpful in an extraction operation, send an email to helptorunesfamily@gmail.com.
Okay, you heard that, everyone. Jump on those. If you've got something to offer, send the email. Send them positive emails, send encouragement, but jump on rescue.express/family. And I think, Dave, aren't you working on a little something for it?
I'm trying behind the scenes.
Okay, so well, Dave will hopefully have an announcement. Hopefully tomorrow. We'll be back on tomorrow, but hopefully real soon. Thank you so much. Thank you for what you're doing. You know, that's just.
Thank you.
I think you're bringing a lot of honor to Utah. You're bringing a lot of honor to the average citizen. You're a libertarian. You're bringing honor to libertarianism. You know, you're doing the right thing at the right time, and you're not just sitting on your hands on this. So, you know, and
We look up to you.
yeah, everyone that's helping you, your uncle, all of that. Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
No, thank you. Thank you. You're the one doing the stuff, you know.
And you're spreading the word, which is so important.
Well, I hope what we do is
We're a cog on the wheel, making this process turn. We're trying.
yeah, you're the axle though. You and your uncle, the guys working at this, you guys are the ones that are doing the heavy labor. So, you know, I know both of us, all the list. Thank you very much. This is you know, it's proud to know that people like you exist. They exist in Utah. They exist in the U.S. They exist where it's needed, when it's needed, regardless of what goes on in the corrupt institutions. Good people still stand, take care of stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Yep. So thank you very much, everyone. Andrea, you know, she come on and she's doing good stuff. So jump on rescue.express/family. Jump on there if you have anything to that you can do to help out. If you can offer, you know, a couple bucks, you know, whatever support you can give, and please share that website far and wide so that we can, you know, we can rescue this family, and hopefully this carries on. And in the end, we find solutions for the people that that put their faith in us over there, and we can get them into better places. You know, whether it's bringing them here, or ideally it'd be nice to see them be able to keep their homes. But you know, right now that may not be an opportunity. All right, Andrea, have a very good night.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
Yes, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And reach out if you have any information you want to spread. Let us know.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right, you have a good night.
See ya.
See ya. All right, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully, everyone has a good night, and yeah, be safe. Kind of a harrowing tale.
Tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about vaccines.
Yeah, the fun stuff. Oh, good.
It's a conversation Jared's been dying to have.
Oh, dying. I'm dying to chat more about vaccines.
And just to recap on the program you just saw, you know, Utah is a very giving state. A lot of us give 10% on the paycheck before taxes, right, to a worthy cause. Can you really think of a more worthy cause than that, Jared? Can you?
No. I mean, that is a very worthy cause. Second most worthy cause is, of course, bringing more beer my way. But you know, that's a close second to rescuing a family in need.
Very close. Yeah.
I am extremely irritated with what our government has done. And I'm tired of people being caught up in winds of change in ways that threaten their life. You know, it is a damn symbol of corruption, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I really don't understand how the world can even trust us at this point.
Yeah, I'll tell you what they would trust, though. They trust Rescue Express. I'll tell you what, I'd trust them. They're working hard. They're fighting for it. Yeah, the people who are going out behind the scenes trying to make stuff happen. Jump on there, support them as best you can. I mean, if you can't give money, share the website. Just share it onto your Facebook. That's it. You know, not everyone can give money, but that would be free. That would get more eyes on it. More eyes would hopefully get them closer to their objective. Right now, it also sounds like time is a big fight they have. So let's, I think
share the heck out of this show so that Andrea can give her message to more people.
Yep.
If you can't give, at least share the message.
Yeah. And if you can't find the website will be on the Twilla Happy Hour and on my personal Facebook pages. Just jump on there. Feel free to grab it right off of there. We need to get the word out, get this family rescued wherever, we made them a promise. We broke the promise. Now it's time for the people. I shouldn't say we. Our government made a promise. Our government broke a promise. Now it's time for us people to uphold promises made.
Right. And I think because she's mentioned the Nazarene Fund, OUR, those are 501c3s.
Yep.
If you need some sort of a receipt for your donation, let them know, hey, can you put this towards Andrea's cause? And you can get your tax deduction receipt.
Yeah.
Some people think that's very important. So find a way to donate to this. It's important. It's important to us. It's kind of a way that us non-voters for Biden can make amends for
Or just
those who have voted for
voters.
Biden. I don't even know how Biden voters live with themselves now. I mean, can you imagine the shame? I wouldn't even want, I don't know. I shouldn't go there on this show.
They
but
just
I do.
voted for Newsom.
Either way, I mean, like the blood of these people, I can't blame Biden because we all knew what we were getting.
Yeah.
But you can blame the voter.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Anyway, sorry everyone
good
if I
night.
offended you.
Everyone be safe. We'll see you tomorrow night.